The Senators rolled the Rangers 6-2. The Avalanche beat the Ducks 3-2. Brian Clark, KBC Sports.
In local sports, Rebecca Gunderson's Port Angeles Rough Rider bowling team, in just its second year, is running away with the Olympic League title. The Rough Riders are 6-2, 3 games ahead of second place 3-1 La Jolla. Bremerton is third at 3-3. North Mason at 2-2. Bremerton is 3-3. Squims at 3-4, and Olympics at 1-6. Tomorrow, the Riders will host North Mason 2:45, and Squim will host La Jolla at 3 p.m. Both those contests will be at Laurel Lanes in Port Angeles. In girls high school basketball action tomorrow night, the Rough Riders at 1-1 will host the 0-2 Bremerton Knights. The Knights have had long seasons the past 2 years, and it looks like this year could be another one. Bremerton has lost to Anacortes 56-31 and to Cross Point 47-37. The Rough Riders will host Central Kitsap on Saturday. The Cougars do not look to be any kind of a threat as well, as they're 0-4. The Riders will probably not have any real competition until they play at Nia Bay on December 19th. The Red Devils blew out the Rough Riders by 16 points in their own gym last January. Meantime, the Rough Rider boys at 1-0 have a tough early Olympic League game Friday night at Bremerton. The Knights at 2-0, beating Central Kitsap 59-51 and Foss 74-41. The Knights look to have state tournament talent, and Rough Rider head coach Casey Uhlin expects to fight it out with Bremerton, North Kitsap, and Squim for the league championship. Friday night's game will be broadcast right here on KONP. Will tip off at 7 p.m.
When the white stuff starts to fall, you know you can count on LS Tractor. LS has a subcompact or compact tractor with enough power, traction, and determination to fight off any snowstorm. Push it, blow it, move the snow out of here with LS snow handling implements. Meet winter head on with LS Tractor. Ask your local dealer about the LS Blue Ad Implement Program today.
Find the perfect LS tractor for you at Leitz Farm Supply in Squim. Locally owned and operated, call Leitz at 360-452-1400.
LS Tractor, simply more.
I'm Scarlett Johansson. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. You can join the movement to end hunger by donating, volunteering, and advocating. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
It is 20 minutes after 12. Let's get a look at Wall Street next.
Newsradio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Planning to put a new iPad under the tree this year? You may want to leave an IOU instead. Sources say Apple is preparing several new iPad and Mac upgrades to be released early next year in an effort to reverse slumping sales. Good news for would-be home buyers. Mortgage rates continue to fall to 7.17% last week, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association. Rates have fallen for the last 5 weeks after peaking near 8% in October. Less than an hour to go before the closing bell, and stocks are mostly lower. Dow Industrial's down 13, the S&P is down 9, the Nasdaq falling 42. Google is raising the stakes in the artificial intelligence race. It's rolling out Gemini, an AI model that's trained to behave in human-like ways. The first versions will be incorporated into Google's Bard chatbot and its Pixel 8 Pro smartphone. Larry Kofsky, Bloomberg Radio.
Let's check the roads out there this noon hour next. Brought to you by Angela's Furniture and The Blind Store by McCrory.
You'll see cozy Christmas savings going on through December at Angela's Furniture. You'll also see us open on Sundays. From 12 to 4 on Sundays through December 17th, you can shop the same awesome deals you do the other 6 days a week. You'll see deals on Lazy Boy chairs, incredible savings on select dining sets, and sales on Stanton sofas. You'll also be able to enter our drawing for a $500 in-store credit. Drawing will be held on Sunday, December 30th. Angela's Furniture, 1114 East 1st Street.
I don't know about you, but when someone says something about the 1980s, I still think that was only 20 years ago, not 4 decades ago. My point is this. If you're one of those people that says, we just updated our blinds a couple years ago, it might actually be longer than you think. Update and save money now with 25% off your order at the Blind Store by McCrory. Plus, get free installation. The most styles from the most popular brands, installed by the most trusted professionals at the Blind Store by McCrory in Squim.
Newsradio KONP, traffic and roads.
Up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center we go now. That is where Steve's standing by with a look at the roads on this noon hour for us on a Wednesday. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, we're actually doing pretty good out there, although it is very busy. A lot of traffic right now making its way through town. Port Angeles area, First Street, Front Street, all the main roads, just a lot of vehicles. Little slowdowns at the lights. Same thing in the Sequim area. If you're on the highway between Port Angeles and Sequim, 101's in good shape. Busy out there, but at the speed limit. If you're headed beyond, Hood Canal Bridge is good to go. Currently with no scheduled marine openings. State ferries are running on time. If you're headed out to the west end, you're going to find road construction just leaving Port Angeles there over by Tumwater. Single lane traffic through that area, so be prepared. But the rest of the way, you should be in good shape. It is definitely busy out there, but traffic is moving along at the speed limit. So everybody take care. Be safe out there. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Thank you, Steve. Next hour on the Todd Ortloff Show, we'll be talking with the city manager for Port Angeles, Nathan West, in the first part of the show. Second bit of the program, we'll be talking with someone from the Queens Cartoonists. Yeah, Queens Cartoonists in town for a really great show at the Field Arts and Events Hall on Saturday. Keenly aware of all things holiday-oriented and completely ridiculous, the music ensemble, the Queens Cartoonists, have set out to find the best of the best and the best of the worst holiday-related cartoons, films, and jazz. And they put it all together in a multimedia experience, and it's a terrific show that's coming to Field Arts and Events Hall this weekend. Plenty of tickets still available. You can go online to the Field Arts and Events Hall website and get those. Or right now, we're going to do a text-to-win contest. I've actually got 6 pairs of tickets to Saturday evening show. This Saturday evening, 7 p.m., doors at 6:30. If you'd like to enter to win a pair of passes to see the Queens Cartoonists this Saturday night, text the word WIN to 360-457-1450. That's our McCrory Carpet One Studio text main line. Text me the word WIN to 360-457-1450. We're going to keep things open for the next hour and a half or so, and then we'll draw from all of our entries. I've got 6 pairs of passes to give away for the evening show to the Queens Cartoonists, and it's a great program. The Holiday Hurrah. You will love it. And again, tickets are still available by going over to the Field Arts and Events Hall website for more details.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
We all want to keep our kids safe online, but surveilling them across every app on their phone is really not the way to do it. According to Deborah Heitner, author of the book Growing Up in Public, Coming of Age in a Digital World, it is mentoring them, not monitoring them. To start, you'll know your kid is ready when they can adequately answer your questions about why they want to be on a particular platform, who they're interested in connecting with, and how certain posts make them feel. Kids that Heitner talked to said they worried about parents seeing something out of context, or sometimes even before they do. About everything else, Heitner reminded us this: you want to be learning about your kids from talking to them, not from getting all this data about them. Be the person your kids can talk to, rather than the person who is trying to track their every move. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Dell's Cyber Monday event is their biggest sale of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Now you can get a Walmart Plus membership, plus not pay for it, because it's included with Straight Talk wireless plans. You get free delivery with Walmart plus a Paramount Plus subscription included. Plus, you pay less for gas. That's a lot of pluses.
Only Straight Talk gives you unlimited 5G data and Walmart Plus included on select plans for free.
Straight Talk wireless, available at Walmart.
Requires service on Gold or Platinum Unlimited. One offer per eligible account. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. Additional terms apply.
Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart, and this is One Moment in America. I'm a big supporter in education. I believe it's one of the most important pieces for a successful career. But should you be concerned that you're a failure if you don't have higher education? I'll tell you that story after this important message.
Hello, this is Kelly Stewart. Have you started your shopping for Christmas yet? This year, we're giving you a fun way to do your shopping. Order early and get all this for $21.95 plus $6 shipping and handling. A copy of today's program on CD, a second full-length program, Overcoming, on CD, a written copy of today's program signed by Jerry. Get this great special for only $27.95. Order now by calling 817-995-6965, or you can go online at our website to order at www.jerrystewartusa.com. That number again, 817-995-6965, or online at jerrystewartusa.com. So don't wait. Get your Christmas shopping done now. Happy Thanksgiving.
In the early 1800s, there was one highly successful prosecuting attorney in Nashville, Tennessee, but he was a very poor speller. As he approved court documents, he would write all correct on the document, but all who read were amazed. He started the word all with an O and the word correct with a K. Well, the attorney grew tired of the writing, so he just replaced the misspelled all correct with the letters OK. Thus, the slang OK was born. Who was this successful attorney? He was also our 17th U.S. President, President Andrew Jackson. Very interesting. By the way, do your best to be a good speller. I'm Jerry Stewart, and that was One Moment in America.
All right, if you'd like to get a passes to the evening show this Saturday night for the Queen's Cartoonist Holiday Hurrah, it's a fun multimedia event and great music as well at Field Arts and Events Hall. We've got a text-to-win contest going on right now, and for the next hour and a half, if you text me the word WIN, text the word WIN to 360-457-1450, you'll be entered to win one of 6 pairs of passes for the evening show to the Queen's Cartoonists. But text me now at 360-457-1450. Text the word WIN, and you'll be in the drawing.
For the Washington State News Network, I'm Rob Francis. Flooding is the word of the day. A flood alert issued across western Washington as heavy rain drenches that region. A King County flood alert was issued yesterday, which said the Snoqualmie River had reached flood phase 3. Moderate flooding is expected in low-lying areas throughout the Snoqualmie Valley. Now let's switch to the other side of the state, where the National Weather Service issued a flood watch through tomorrow afternoon for parts of eastern Washington. Heavy rain increasing the risk of rivers, streams, and localized flooding in low-lying areas. It's falling on snow from last week. NWS meteorologist Stephen Van Horn said the early December weather system is consistent with an El Nino winter.
This pattern is consistent where we have deep trough of low pressure over the Gulf of Alaska that will at times bring some of that more subtropical moisture up into us, and it just depends on where that subtropical jet kind of sets up. And for this one, it is setting up over the Pacific Northwest.
The flood watch covers Spokane and Pullman, among other areas. And Amtrak service between Seattle and Portland suspended due to a landslide blocking the tracks. Service between the two cities is expected to resume tomorrow morning. For travelers with reservations, additional charges to reserve a new date for your travel will be waived. For more on these stories and others, download the WSNN mobile app. You can also visit our website, WashingtonStateNews.net.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham says there will be no foreign aid bill for Ukraine and Israel until Democrats agree to include resources to address the U.S. border crisis.
Senator Graham used Tuesday's FBI oversight hearing to accuse Democrats of playing a game, making just enough concessions on the border to win a handful of Republican votes for their aid package. But he warned,
we're united over here.
For Republicans, Graham says, the border is a matter of U.S. national security.
At a time when the threats to our nation are all-time high.
Graham says the bill cannot exclude border funding, despite the fact that he and other Republicans desire to pass a bill for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan.
You're putting your nation at risk, and the consequence of this is going to be devastating to the world.
Bob Agnew reporting.
In the meantime, Oklahoma GOP Senator James Lankford says the measure may also include provisions, those that would strip funds from universities that allow anti-Semitic hate speech on campus. Also at townhall.com. Now on the brink of joining NATO, Sweden has signed a defense cooperation agreement with the United States. Jennifer King has the story.
The deal signed at the Pentagon Tuesday will allow the U.S. access to all of the military bases across Sweden, a formerly non-aligned country. The strategically important Baltic Sea island of Gotland sits less than 200 miles from the Russian enclave of Kaliningrad. At the table were Swedish Defense Minister Paul Jonsson and U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin.
We look forward to learning from each other as we continue to build our defense capabilities together.
Jonsson says the deal will create better conditions for Sweden to receive support from the U.S. in the event of a war or a crisis. Secretary Austin says the deal will bolster regional security and lauded Sweden for its leadership among allies supporting Ukraine. Jennifer King, Washington.
And more on these stories at townhall.com.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, and evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word FAITH to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
Well, the Biden administration will give more than $6 billion to a pair of high-speed electric rail routes in the West.
The Federal Railroad Administration says $3 billion will be for a route plan between Las Vegas and the Los Angeles area, and another $3 billion for a route connecting cities in California's Central Valley. The money is a fraction of the total cost to build the projects, but it does signal the Biden administration's commitment to high-speed rail. The route in California is part of a project to eventually connect Los Angeles and San Francisco, which has been plagued by delays and cost increases. Rhonda Rockster reporting.
Stampede at a government-organized job fair involving hundreds of young people in Zimbabwe, leaving some limping and others screaming in pain after being stomped on and beaten by a security guard. Chaos came as job seekers rushed to register for potential vacancies. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. CVS Health is introducing changes in how its prescription drug pricing model works.
That could lead to some savings for customers starting next year. The healthcare giant will roll out a new reimbursement model designed to make costs more predictable. The company will start offering it next year to some third-party cash discount card administrators. Cash discount cards, like those offered by GoodRx, can give customers a break on out-of-pocket cost for some prescriptions, depending on the person's coverage and the drug. CVS Health drugstores will use its new model more broadly in 2025. John Scott reports.
Trouble in the Pacific Northwest. Authorities in Oregon investigating the deaths of two people whose bodies were found in creeks following very heavy rains. Earlier, the Coast Guard had rescued 5 people from flooded areas late Tuesday. Conditions closed down some rail lines and roads. More on these stories at townhall.com.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Ortloff in the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Wednesday, December 6th. A Squim man is in jail after calling 911 and making a false bomb threat. Last Wednesday, just after 5 p.m., a man who was later identified as 20-year-old Patrick Ahern called 911 and said he created a bomb that was going to explode in 10 minutes and requested law enforcement at his home in Sunland. Deputies responded and were able to get Ahern on the phone, who ultimately revealed there was no bomb, and he made the statement to 911 because his mother wouldn't allow him to smoke marijuana. Ahern's legal guardian was in the home at the time of the incident and assured deputies that Ahern never had a bomb, and none was found by investigators. Ahern was arrested for threats to bomb or injure property, which is a felony in the state of Washington. A serial criminal sentenced in Clallam County Superior Court to some 6 years in prison after being found guilty of a robbery committed some 2 years ago. On Christmas morning 2021, 21-year-old Derek Dunaway of Port Angeles went into the SARS market in Port Angeles, stole several packages of cigarettes, and fled out of the store toward his car. A store employee, Timothy Umbarger, chased him down and stopped him from driving off with the cigarettes, but not without a fight. Umbarger eventually pinned Dunaway in the parking lot and waited until police got there. While this case was pending trial, though, Dunaway posted bond and went to Yakima County. That's where police say he committed felony forgery and identity theft crimes. Overall, Dunaway has 12 adult felony convictions and 1 juvenile felony conviction. Continuous rainfall in western Washington causing landslides, train and traffic delays, and flood warnings and emergencies throughout the region through yesterday. Rainfall at the National Weather Service's offices in Seattle set a record Monday of 1.5 inches. And just before daybreak Tuesday, rain was falling at a rate of up to half an inch per hour there. The snow level is also high, still up at about 10,000 feet. All that rain continued through the day, reaching 1.61 inches in Seattle by 5 yesterday afternoon. Areas of the western part of the Olympic Peninsula got some 4 inches of rain nearly during the 24-hour period. 4 people were trapped in their homes due to the flooding from the Grays River near Astoria yesterday. They had to be rescued by the Coast Guard. The Kathlamic Fire Department requested helicopter support in Rossburg, Wahkiakum County, about 10:30 yesterday morning from the Coast Guard sector Columbia River. The 4 people were trapped in their home with 4 feet of water surrounding it. And 4 people and a dog were rescued after they became trapped in a Monroe Park as river and creek water swelled yesterday afternoon. The people and dog were at Alborland Park, which is located on a peninsula between the Skykomish River and Woods Creek, and they were surrounded by rising waters. The group was brought to higher ground and checked out by emergency techs within about 30 minutes. Everybody okay. In other news, older people across Washington state are facing strains on their budgets. Some government programs could help them out, but they're underutilized. Eric Tegedoff has a look.
An assistance program like the senior property tax exemption is a prime example. King County Assessor John Wilson says the median value for a home in his county is about $790,000. If someone qualifies for a full exemption, he says they would save almost $5,000 a year.
$5,000 a year savings in property taxes is nothing to be trifled with. But the shame is a lot of folks don't know that that program even exists.
Wilson adds that the state legislature has expanded the senior property tax exemption program by increasing the economic threshold. He says in 2024, his office estimates as many as 30,000 more people will apply for the program. Other programs can also help. The state's charity care law directs hospitals to provide financial assistance to low-income patients. The Affordable Connectivity Program helps people get a discount on their broadband internet service. And bigger federal programs like the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program provide crucial assistance, but only about 64% of eligible older Washingtonians use it. Wilson says there's an unnecessary stigma surrounding assistance.
I know from talking to seniors, what you hear sometimes is, well, yeah, but I just feel kind of awkward asking for it, or they feel like it is some kind of tacit admission that I've failed somehow.
Wilson says government at various levels needs to do a better job of raising awareness for these programs, too.
There are so many economic pressures that are weighing on people now, and there is a safety net out there, but we don't do always a really good job of showing people, here's how you can access it, and here, by the way, are the various things you're eligible for.
Online tools can also help people find the programs they're eligible for, such as benefitscheckup.org from the National Council on Aging. I'm Eric Tegedoff.
Seattle man pled guilty yesterday to stealing postal vehicles, stealing postal keys, mail theft, and associated crimes. 27-year-old Johnny Mexiabuab was the reason the Postal Service had to halt deliveries in the zip code 98118 for about a week as investigators worked to track down and arrest him. According to the plea agreement, in a 6-month span this year, Mexiabuab unlawfully gained access to cluster mailbox units, such as the ones you see at housing developments and apartment complexes throughout King County. He repeatedly stole mail and used stolen credit cards to make purchases for himself, all while driving around in a stolen mail truck posing as an official postal worker. And King County's arts and culture sector getting a big boost. Yesterday, the Metro King County Council unanimously approved a new levy. It'll provide hundreds of millions of dollars in funding to arts, heritage, science, and historical preservation nonprofits over the next 7 years. Funded through a 0.1% sales tax increase, the new program called Doors Open is expected to distribute some $100 million to hundreds of local nonprofits each year. This is News Radio KONP.
End-of-life decisions are hard. Be it pre-planning or sudden loss, you need to have an advocate in your corner, which is why I wholeheartedly recommend Drennan and Ford Funeral Home and Crematory in Port Angeles, the only locally owned funeral home and crematory in Clallam County. Their expertise ensures a smooth process so you can focus on healing and being with your loved ones. Their help through the darkest time in my life will forever stay with me. Call 360-457-1210.
Thank you very much. We're the Queens Cartoonists. Are you guys ready to hear some music from cartoons?
The holidays are here at Field Arts and Events Hall, and we're so excited to welcome you and your loved ones to celebrate with us. Get tickets now for the hilarious Queens Cartoonists and watch your favorite Golden Age cartoons take on new life synced to live music and comedy. 'Tis the season for making memories. Visit www.fieldhallevents.org today.
And we're right in the middle of giving you a chance at winning a pair of passes to see the Queens Cartoonists this Saturday night at Field Arts and Events Hall. All you have to do in the next hour and a half or so, text me the word WIN at 360-457-1450. That's our McQuarrie Carpet One Studio text main line. Text the word WIN to 360-457-1450, and you could win a pair of passes to the Queens Cartoonists Holiday Hurrah. You'll love it on Saturday night at Field Arts and Events Hall.
Did you know that hot water accounts for 15 to 20% of your electric energy use? Hi, this is Clallam PUD. Let's talk about heat pump water heaters, or hybrid water heaters. A heat pump water heater uses fans and an evaporator to efficiently extract warmth from the surrounding air, saving you up to 60% on your electric water heating costs. The PUD currently has an instant rebate of up to $900 when using a participating installer, or $600 if you're installing it on your own. Plus, the federal government is offering a $2,000 tax credit. Visit ClallamPUD.net for more information.
At Olympic Peninsula Title, we wear a lot of different hats. We're investigators, analysts, and the protectors of property rights. We seek a high standard of accuracy. Our commitment to exceptional service strengthens our mission. We reduce risk. We stay on top of the current issues affecting property rights. We sweat the small stuff to give our customers the peace of mind they deserve. When it's time to choose a title company to close your transaction, opt for Olympic Peninsula Title, locally owned and family run since 1981.
Weather forecast, cloudy, chance of rain through the rest of the day today, mid-40s to low 50s for your highs. Cloudy tonight and a chance of a stray rain shower or two, lows in the mid-30s to low 40s. Rain likely, though, by tomorrow morning and continuing through most of the day. Highs in the 40s Thursday, cloudy, rain at times Thursday night, lows in the mid to upper 30s. Friday, cloudy, some rain showers and a high in the 40s. And then Saturday's going to be rainy, highs in the mid-40s. Sunday, cloudy, chance of rain showers, highs in the mid to upper 40s. Monday, partly sunny, slight chance of rain showers with highs in the low 40s. And Tuesday next week, partly sunny with a chance of rain showers and highs in the mid-40s. No real cold weather on the way, but lots of clouds and rain and mild temperatures. Right now it is cloudy, a little scattered rain shower activity across the peninsula. It's 48 in Port Townsend, also 48 out west in Forks. Squim now's at 49. It's also 49 in downtown Port Angeles, and it's 50 degrees now out at the airport.
In Squim, it's good to know you have a neighborhood auto parts store ready to help. A1 Auto and Marine has been locally owned for, well, a really long time, taking care of your car and marine needs since before even the Squim bypass. Whether it's a headlight, wiper blade, battery, or something a bit more complicated, the specialist at A1 has the right part to keep you on the road. A1 Auto Parts and Marine, right across from Sunshine Cafe, downtown Squim. Everwarm Hearth and Home has installed new stoves and fireplaces all over the peninsula. Wish you had the warmth of a fire? Well, don't wait. Everwarm is offering 48-month financing OAC or up to $1,000 off. And see if you qualify for an additional $2,000 tax credit. A new wood, pellet, gas, or electric stove or fireplace, not only good for your warmth this winter, but great for your budget. Everwarm Hearth and Home. Go to everwarmhh.com.
Hi everyone, it's Leslie Robertson from the Port Angeles Chamber, and the Winter Ice Village season this year goes until January 2nd. So come on down to enjoy ice skating, gourmet hot chocolate, and fresh popped popcorn. Our prices are still the same, so you can skate all day. And even if you don't skate, it doesn't cost anything to watch. You can come enjoy our beautiful lighted holiday ornaments, which are also a great place to take your family photo. We're open daily from noon to 9, and you can sign your waiver or volunteer at the website wintericevillage.com.
Here's a look at what's happening. A Christmas Cottage Holiday Bazaar hosted by the Squim Guild is happening Friday and Saturday, December 8th and 9th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. That'll be at 81 Timothy Lane in Squim. Sip a hot drink, some freshly baked scones, buy some homemade Christmas treats there as well, all to raise money for Research and Uncompensated Care at Seattle Children's Hospital. Peninsula Friends of Animals will have a vendor booth selling beautiful pot holders and microwave bowls handcrafted by their volunteers. This is part of the holiday market that's happening at the Vern Burton Center, Saturday, 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. Also Saturday, it's the Wintertide Festival of Lights at the Port Angeles Fine Arts Center. It goes from 4:30 till 8 p.m., rain or shine. Learn more and to buy your tickets now at PAFAC.org. Operation Candy Cane will be out doing nightly routes beginning December 9th through the 14th. The Port Angeles Professional Firefighters Local 656 local firefighters, along with Santa Claus, will be traveling the streets of the city on a decorated 1956 Seagrave fire engine, collecting donations for the local food bank. The first route will be west of I Street and M Street on Saturday. On Sunday, they'll do I and L Streets to C Street. Friends of the Squim Library having their second Saturday sale this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at their Rock Plaza location. Paranormal Kindred meets again Saturday, 1 till 3 p.m. at the Port Angeles Library, an adult anomalous phenomenon discussion group open to the public. Looking for the perfect holiday gift? A couple of exciting in-person events in December at the Dungeness River Nature Center. Rain Shadow Artisans will be gathering talented artists December 9th from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. And then they'll do it again December 16th from 10 to 3. Again, both those will be at the Dungeness River Nature Center. And that's a look at what's happening.
The handoff to Walker. He breaks a tackle, comes back to the near side, stumbles across the 10, breaks the tackle. He is in. Touchdown, Seahawks.
For the second time in 3 weeks, the Seahawks battle the division rival 49ers. This time in Santa Clara. Join Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman this Sunday. Pre-game at noon. Kickoff at 1:05. Right here on the Seahawks Radio Network.
Murray steps up. He's going to throw deep down the sideline. And Woolen reaches up and he makes another interception.
Join parents and experts at Understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues designed to help you help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything. Brought to you by Understood.org and the Ad Council.
Check on business news right before the close on Wall Street next.
Newsradio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Just minutes to go ahead of the closing bell, and it looks like Wall Street will end the day lower, not by a whole lot, on more signs that the U.S. labor market is cooling. Just 103,000 private sector jobs added in November. Right now, the Dow is down about 0.1%, the S&P down 1/3, the NASDAQ down nearly 0.5%, and oil closing below $70 a barrel today, the lowest since July. Researchers in the U.S. and Denmark now looking into whether the diabetes and weight loss medication Wegovy, made by the Danish firm Novo Nordisk, can also treat alcoholism, sleep apnea, Alzheimer's, and more. Meantime, with positive clinical data from Maryland-based Altimmune's weight loss drug candidate, shares of that company right now up 38%. And in an effort to boost slumping sales, Apple is preparing several new models and new upgrades of its iPads and Mac PCs to come out early in 2024. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
Last check of the noontime road and traffic conditions next. Brought to you by Leeds Farm Supply and Olympic Medical Center.
The premium compact powerhouse is here. The new MT225S from LS Tractor. 25 horsepower, 2-pedal hydrostatic transmission, and a highly featured operator platform. Now available with dealer-installed cab. All backed by the legendary LS Tractor warranty. Demo the new MT225S at your local dealer today.
Find the perfect LS tractor for you at Leeds Farm Supply in Squim. Locally owned and operated. Call Leeds at 360-452-1400.
LS Tractor, simply more.
As leaves fall and temperatures drop, that means cold and flu season is here. But don't worry.
The best defense is a good offense, and we have 2 ways to keep you healthy. First, regular hand washing can help keep cold and flu viruses at bay. Second, protect yourself and your loved ones by getting your flu shot. It's safe, it's effective, and it's your best bet against the flu. So, wash those hands, get a flu vaccine, and let's beat the cold and flu together. Brought to you by Olympic Medical Center.
News Radio KONP, traffic and roads.
Up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center we go one last time this hour. We'll check in with Steve and what's going on out there. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I guess first things first on Lincoln Street. Lincoln and 7th over there by the U.S. Bank. I guess there's a vehicle accident. Not sure if it's blocking. There was a rear-end collision. It sounds like there's some minor injuries on that, too. So that might take a little bit. So be careful if you're headed in that area. It might be a good area to avoid if you can. The rest of Port Angeles Swim area, busy out there. A lot of traffic making its way around, so just be prepared. Slowdowns at the lights and that kind of thing. So just relax and you'll get where you're going safely. If you're headed out on the highway, really no problems out there. It's busy on 101, but moving along at the speed limit. If you're headed beyond Squim, Hood Canal Bridge, good to go with no scheduled marine opening. Also, state ferries are running on time today. West End traffic, we do have some construction over the Tumwater Creek there just as you're leaving Port Angeles westbound. Single lane traffic through that area as they're doing some road work out in that section. Beyond that, though, you should be fine. Light to moderate traffic headed all the way out to the Forks area. Definitely wet out there, so just take your time and slow her down out that way. So everybody take care. Be safe this afternoon. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Thanks, Steve. Again, we're texting to win right now for the next hour or so. Your chance to enter for 6 pairs of passes to see the Queen's Cartoonist Holiday Hurrah Saturday night at Field Arts and Events Hall. All you got to do is text the word WIN to 360-457-1450. That's the McCrory Carpet One Studio text main line. Text the word WIN to 360-457-1450, and we're going to draw from those entries in about an hour or so. You could win a pair of passes to see the evening show of the Queen's Cartoonists Holiday Hurrah. Speaking of which, we'll be talking with a member of that ensemble next hour on the TO Show. In the second part of the program, you can hear all about that really fun and unique show that is coming for 2 shows, actually, to Field Arts and Events Hall this weekend. The NCAA out with a game-changing proposal that would allow certain schools to pay college athletes for the first time. More from ABC's Andrew Dimbert.
In a letter to Division I schools, NCAA President Charlie Baker proposes creating a new subdivision that would allow participating programs to offer compensation to athletes. Under the proposal, schools would now be allowed to enter lucrative name, image, and likeness deals with athletes. They'd also be required to invest a minimum of $30,000 per athlete each year into a trust fund for at least half their athletes. That investment would have to adhere to Title IX, meaning equal distribution for men and women. The idea already catching on. A top official at Ohio State University saying he's 100% supportive.
All right, do you have the urge to get tipsy in the wintertime? You're not alone. A new study from the University of Pittsburgh found that people who live in colder climates consume more alcohol than people who live in the warmer weather. Since alcohol is a vasodilator, that increases warm blood flow in the skin. The study's findings suggested that people reach for booze when it's cold to keep themselves toasty. Researchers combed through data from the World Health Organization and the World Meteorological Organization to compare climate factors and alcohol consumption per capita. The study also found that as temperatures and sunlight hours decrease, alcohol consumption went up, along with binge drinking. Shorter hours of sunlight and cooler temps relate to higher rates of depression, which is linked to an increase in drinking as well.
Household robots have been promised for decades. Remember the Jetsons' Rosie? Or Andrew, the family robot played by Robin Williams in the film Bicentennial Man? Or Sony, the robot in Will Smith's iRobot? None were real, until now. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by NetSuite. If you run a business, visit netsuite.com/Kim today and get NetSuite's KPI checklist absolutely free. Less than 50 miles south of Portland, in Salem, Oregon, a company called RoboFam is set to manufacture up to 10,000 two-legged humanoid robots each month. It promises a fleet of 5'9", 140-pound robots to first work in warehouses and then distribution centers, moving boxes and picking out items to ship. When their battery's low, they walk themselves right over to a plug and recharge. Soon they're going to move to monotonous human jobs, for starters, cleaning and janitorial services. It's only a matter of time until they're ready for our homes. I can't wait. How'd you like to win a new iPhone 15 valued at $799? Well, you can. Just visit commando.com/win. Have you been naughty or nice this year? You might fool Santa, but you're not fooling your internet provider. They've seen all your late-night naughty searches this year. But you know what? Your business is yours. This holiday season, gift yourself the gift of privacy with ExpressVPN. Your browser's private mode doesn't keep your activity private. Your internet provider can still see every website you've clicked on and how much time you spent on each. Not only that, but they've likely sold it to advertisers. With ExpressVPN, your traffic gets rerouted through an encrypted server, so your browsing activity actually stays private. It works on all your devices, including your phone, tablet, or computer. ExpressVPN is quick and easy to use. Just open the app, tap on Connect, and you're protected. Take yourself off the naughty list with the #1 rated VPN. Visit expressvpn.com/Kim for 3 extra months for free on annual plans. That's expressvpn.com/Kim, expressvpn.com/.
For what it's worth, I'm Sherry Preston. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis, her husband Matt Hansen, and their daughter Isabel just welcomed Leo, the newest member of their family. But it wasn't an easy journey.
I did IVF to get pregnant with Isabel, and before her, I had done 7 rounds of IVF in order to have her.
A few years later, the couple wanted another child.
2 years ago, we had just experienced another miscarriage in the IVF journey, and that catalyzed the search for another route.
They lost a pregnancy at 5 months and asked their doctors about their options.
Our doctors said surrogacy is your best path forward.
Surrogacy is something they never considered, but they embraced the path. Now they say they're grateful and hope they can help other couples.
It was truly magical.
For what it's worth, I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
This is business analyst Jill Schlesinger. When running a business, your employees can create all kinds of interesting situations. You know, like somebody not showing up when they're supposed to. You better talk to Bambi. With Bambi, you get access to your own dedicated U.S.-based HR manager, starting at just $99 per month. They're available by phone, email, and real-time chat, so onboarding and terminations run smoothly. Team members reach peak performance, and your business stays compliant with changing HR regulations. And with Bambi's HR Autopilot, you'll automate important HR practices like setting policies, training, and feedback. HR managers can easily cost $80,000 a year, but Bambi starts at $99 per month. Schedule your free conversation today to see how much Bambi can take off your plate. Visit Bambi.com and type freedom under radio when you sign up. Spelled BAMBEE.com, freedom under radio.
News, sports, and information for the North Olympic Peninsula. We're News Radio KONP, Port Angeles, Squim, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Shock and fear gripping the campus of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas following a shooting. Police say the suspect has been located and is deceased, but the investigation into what happened continues. One student describing what she heard when gunfire broke out.
We did hear the gunshots, though. I know at least one of my friends, she was in the business building, just ran out, hopped fences, got to a car as fast as possible.
Students ordered to shelter in place, too, as police search for the gunman and victims. ABC's Alex Stone has more.
Firefighters have been going into what they call the cold zone and the warm zone, depending on the threat in those areas, to try to get in and get to victims. They have been reporting victims on the fire radio channels, and we can report that being that police have confirmed that there are multiple people who are at least injured, if not worse.
Police say victims were taken to nearby hospitals. A procedural vote in the Senate expected to take place this hour on supplemental funding for Ukraine. President Biden urging Congress to act now to keep Russia, he says, from getting the upper hand.
President Biden slammed some Republicans, saying they're not willing to work toward a bipartisan agreement on border security and jeopardizing more U.S. support for Ukraine.
Extreme Republicans are playing chicken with our national security.
holding Ukraine's funding hostage to their extreme partisan border policies.
The president says he's asked Congress for billions of dollars for more border agents, immigration judges, and asylum officers. But Republicans are calling for major changes to border policies and immigration laws, and negotiations in the Senate have broken down. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
In just a few hours in Alabama, Republican presidential candidates will take to the stage for the fourth GOP presidential debate in Tuscaloosa. Former President Trump again skipping the debate. Four other hopefuls have qualified: Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Chris Christie. You're listening to ABC News.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Rescue workers in Indonesia have found the body of the last hiker missing following the volcanic eruption. ABC's Britt Clinnett is in Hong Kong.
The death toll from that now at 23. Mount Merapi spewing columns of ash into the sky, around 1.9 miles up into the air, the ash covering nearby villages.
Record-breaking rain in the Pacific Northwest, parts of Washington state drenched with up to 10 inches of rain in less than 24 hours. More rain on the way. Former President Trump declaring his intentions if he were elected back to the White House, refusing to rule out abusing the power of presidency. This is why President Biden says he's running for a second term.
Biden is facing low approval ratings and a slew of polls showing him neck and neck with Trump, even with the former president facing multiple criminal indictments. A new court filing in one of those cases makes it clear that special counsel Jack Smith is going to place the blame for the violence on January 6th squarely on Donald Trump, making the case that rioters were doing essentially what Trump wanted them to do.
ABC's Jonathan Carl. Weddings and marriage proposals have rebounded to their pre-pandemic levels, that according to the American Family Institute. Signet Jewelers expects to see more purchases of wedding and engagement rings next year. Taylor Swift named Time's Person of the Year. The magazine's editor-in-chief says they picked someone who represents joy and brings light and money to the world. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
I'm Scott, the owner of Solid Fire Pits. When I began welding my custom-made fire pits for friends and family, I shared them on TikTok because I was just so proud of them.
Check it out. That's beautiful.
I posted every new fire pit design and more people kept ordering, from 26 states and counting. Then on my birthday, I had my best sales ever. Now how can the universe beat that?
Solid Fire Pits is just one of the 5 million U.S. businesses that rely on TikTok every day. TikTok sparks business.
Your finish comes first at First Race.
It's so hard to find a good time to wash your car or truck. Why not let the friendly folks at First Race Car Wash do the job in minutes? Get a wash and polish wax and fill up with high-quality Union 76 gas. Diesel's also available at First Race Car Wash.
You're a winner every time when you've got that First Race shine.
Ooh, your finish comes first at First Race.
Oh, the many things we love about Squim. Yes, the sunshine, charming downtown, the simple life, and A1 Auto Parts in downtown Squim. A1 Auto Parts and Marine has been locally owned longer than the Bypass has been there, delivering quality parts with professional expert service. You can rely on A1 Auto Parts to keep you and your car on the road. Find the experts at A1 in downtown Squim.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results, 457-6600. A Squim man's in jail after calling 911 and making a false bomb threat. Wednesday last week, about 5 p.m., a man who was later ID'd as 20-year-old Patrick Ahern called 911, said he had a bomb. It was going to explode in 10 minutes, and asked for police to come to his house in Sunland. Deputies got there. They were able to get Ahern on the phone, who ultimately revealed there was no bomb. And he made the statement to 911 dispatchers because he says his mother wouldn't allow him to smoke marijuana.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast. Slight chance for scattered rain showers this afternoon, otherwise cloudy. Daytime highs approaching 49, winds out of the west 5 to 10 miles per hour. Scattered rain showers again tonight, lows level off around 39, overcast skies. Cloudy skies expected tomorrow, scattered rain showers likely, daytime highs approaching 46. I'm weatherology meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 50 degrees.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
All right, welcome once again to the program. First half of the show today, it's my pleasure to have Nathan West back with me. He is the city manager for Port Angeles, and we're going to talk about the city for a little while. Nathan, good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Todd, thank you. Good always to be here.
Lots going on. We're going to kind of tick through a few things. First, relevant to last night, and that is City Council had a meeting, and probably the biggest part of the meeting was getting the budget passed. And I know we've threatened that we were going to talk more about budget, and here we go. So let's talk about that. And as you put it, this was kind of a pretty big deal to get this passed.
It sure was, Todd. It was a big budget this year, and things changed since we last talked about it, because ultimately what we took a close look at is what are those capital projects that won't actually happen in 2023, and many of those had to be rolled over. So ultimately we rolled over about $16 million in capital projects that we'll also have to attempt to take on in 2024, and that made a change to the budget. It's not a hit to the budget in that those capital items were already balanced. We had revenues to cover the expenses. So it wasn't a new difficult balancing act. It was a carryover that ultimately upped the budget to about $178 million, which is a big deal.
Yeah, I was going to say, much larger looking budget than you typically might see.
Correct. It's about a 10% increase over last year.
With that, I mean, when you do roll over, there is also the risk of, when those projects, the more they get delayed, they always go up in price too. So does that get figured in, or how do you approach that?
It does. It absolutely, in some cases, can result in higher costs. But this year, we are starting to see some prices decline. And so I think least my hope would be that we start seeing some prices come back down. There might be better bid climates. And some of those items that ultimately had to be rolled over are ones where we went out to bid and the bids were simply not something that we could afford considering the budget for that project. And so we hope for better circumstances on those projects in 2024.
Give us a couple of examples, perhaps, of some of those projects that...
So one of the ones that we've been long working on is the east parking lot at City Hall, and that's one that came in substantially over budget. The parking lot is substantially cracked, and it's important for all those that utilize Vern Burton to be able to access that parking lot, as well as we've built in a number of important grants to help fund that project. But ultimately, the bid came in well over, and we weren't able to move forward with it. So that one carries to the next year.
And fingers crossed, maybe with a better climate of things, you'll get a better price in the next go-round.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, so tell us about the balancing of the budget aside from the carryover part of this. Give us some of the nuts and bolts as to what's up, what's down. How did revenue projections turn out in all of this? Give us a bit of that sketch, if you would.
Yeah, so looking at revenue, and I think it's probably good to just specifically take a closer look at general fund revenue. So general fund balanced at around $26 million, and looking at that, about 59% of that is all taxes. And when you break that down further, about 32% are property taxes, 32% are utility taxes, and 28% are sales tax. So that's the tax breakdown. And again, majority taxes. We do have other revenue sources that impact the general fund as well, such as fees for goods and services. Ultimately, that was a very difficult thing to balance. simultaneously, though, we have seen those revenues perform well, and the expectations for sales and property tax are looking good for the coming year in 2024.
It is a bit of a guess because you really don't know. A lot of this is economically driven, depending on how the economy is. People buying things obviously puts the sales tax up and down. But, I think we talk about one of those things that are, and we've mentioned this before, when you have a robust building climate and sales of houses climate, that's always good because you get more taxes coming in that way ultimately, as well as, what comes with new construction and such. Okay, so heading into 2024, what is the thought from the city staff then as to, are we going to get back to a more upward trend for that in Port Angeles or not?
Yeah, I think that is continuing to look good, and I would say that's demonstrated in the permit numbers that we've seen recently. I would say that ultimately has continued. The growth that we've seen in permits, particularly in multifamily, is unheard of. So we haven't seen that in the history of Port Angeles as far as what we're likely to see in the ultimate results for year end. And basically residential permit wise, when you factor in that multifamily, you're getting close to about a 40% increase above last year with permitting. And we have a lot of other permits and plans in play right now that we expect will come to fruition.
All right. So that's kind of surprising news in some ways that most folks probably think, well, it's flat, if nothing else, just because of the climate with the interest rates and such.
Yeah, no, certainly interest rates are challenging right now. But, relative to the fees that we see, they're small. However, they make an impact. Those projects make an impact both in property tax and sales tax at the end of the day. And I think that's important to think about. Property tax, as a city, we are limited to 1% increase per year, with the exception of the assessed value for new construction. And so, for example, with property tax, while the city has by policy said we're going to take that 1% increase each year because we're seeing expenses and costs increase by far more than that, and that's really the only way to make it sustainable. But you do that 1% increase, and at the end of the day, of those property taxes, for every $10, we only see about $1.73 of it at the city, and it only adds up to about $50,000, with the exception of when you build in the assessed value for new construction, you're adding on another $40,000. And again, small numbers, but it all makes a difference.
Well, if you do a number of those projects, those 40,000s add up after a bit.
Well, that's the total of all the projects. The difference that we would see in property tax increase based on the overall value.
But on the flip side, and you alluded to this as well, is that the sales tax numbers go up significantly because new construction drives people buying lumber. They buy all of the things to build these things, and that gives you kind of, if not a one-off, but a kick, if you will, into some sales tax numbers too. They do go hand in hand.
Absolutely. No, I think the big benefit there is seen in the sales tax dollars. Ultimately, that $40,000 increase that we will see in revenue and benefit from in 2024 is tied to a new construction assessed value of $23.7 million.
Yeah,
so
that's the number that makes more,
exactly.
But that I guess rings the cash register a little bit for your revenue side of things.
Yeah.
So that said, where's the money going? How's the spending side of the budget look heading into next year? And how much cutting did you have to do?
So I would say this is a unique year and that we didn't do very much in the way of cutting. There were a few things here and there, but ultimately we have made a considerable investment in new staffing this year, particularly to take advantage of a number of good grant opportunities and large federal funding opportunities. So we have new positions in our Public Works Department. We have new positions in our Community and Economic Development Department. In Public Works in particular, there's a number of areas that ultimately help us make the entire city function at the end of the day. A great example is equipment services, and our ability to care for emergency vehicles is a situation where we need major improvement there, so that in the wintertime and we have snow, we can get vehicles chained up. We don't have police officers or fire department staff waiting on vehicles to get back into service. So that was a key position that was incorporated in this budget that we've been looking at for years, and finally we were able to find the funding to do it. There's a number of other things, such as the downtown resource officer that was incorporated this year, really important step.
Hold your thought on that. I just wanted to ask, because that was a cooperative buy-in, if you will. Is it going to be the same situation heading into 2024 where the city's paying part of it and downtown, and another cooperative, if you will, is paying the rest?
Correct. So the city is paying a majority of it, but we did get a bigger contribution from Clallam Transit. We're extremely grateful for that. And we're expecting a smaller number from some businesses. We're really grateful to the Chamber of Commerce, who's been orchestrating the contributions from businesses. And we're so grateful to each of those businesses that have stepped up to make that happen. Yeah. Still working on long-term, making sure that's covered fully by the city.
That was my next question but for next year, it's there in kind of the same format that it was this year then.
Yes, but we're trending in a good direction where the city's paying the majority.
Didn't mean to get you off track, but I just wanted to ask on that. Some other things that you're adding to, or maybe it's more like moving around in the budget in some ways.
Yeah, I think what part of what we talked about at the beginning was the rollover of capital projects, and I think some big investments that you're seeing that are incorporated through staffing are project managers and individuals that are capable of moving capital projects forward, so that we don't continue to see rollover, so that we can ultimately take care of that infrastructure that needs dealing with, and we see the projects move forward.
In a bigger picture, has there come a time, though, where you can only let things be in attrition mode for so long? You can't just not add to things for a while. People retire, people move on, they get different jobs, they just don't like doing the job, they quit, so eventually, and I know there was many years where you just weren't filling positions, but like any organization, you can only go that long for X amount of years.
Todd, I can tell you we have been in that situation since 2008, where we have attempted to make more and more cuts every single year, and made position cuts. And I think we're at a point where ultimately, if we are going to take care of the needs of this community and the services that our citizens expect, we had to step up and do some of these additional positions. And so it's really a first for us, with the exception of last year. You may remember we did some staff increases relative to the change in our direct management of the transfer stations. So we had some solid waste increases in staff last year, but this year we've actually done a little bit more comprehensive approach with staffing. There's more work to do, though. We have many departments that still have substantial need. I think fire department is one that I would highlight at the very top, and that's a top priority for council. We've discussed it for legislative priorities. We need funding and revenue sources to help ensure that we've got better staffing at the fire department, because the call volume is not tolerable.
This is kind of a year, I guess, where you mentioned the grant funding paid for a lot of positions that you're. I always have to ask this, though, because that's a good short-term solution to it. You still got to figure out, how do we, after a grant runs out, do we keep that position, or how do we keep that position? So can you address that a little bit?
Yeah. So to be clear, the new positions that we've created are not funded off of grants.
Okay.
Now we may be looking at some of those, for example, for the RAISE grant, where we've stepped up to take on the RAISE grant. But no, we have found sustainable funding sources to ultimately fund these positions. That said, we still expect better results from those positions. We expect those positions to generate more grant revenue at the end of the day, but we don't want to have a short-sighted decision where we have a position solely dependent on a grant. The grant goes away and we're stuck with figuring it out.
Yeah, and certainly many agencies have found themselves in that situation.
Absolutely.
So, hence the question. Comfortable with this budget, even though it sounds like it was a little bit tricky and a lot of moving parts at the end there, but.
Yeah, I think, to me, it's so important that just to share how hard our finance department works to illustrate fiscal responsibility, and they really worked hard to make this budget balance at the end of the day, as did all of our department heads, looking at the issues that we need to look at and the places where we had to make cuts. Departments were extremely supportive, extremely conservative, and then as we took a look at those needs, we made sure that there were performance indicators and things like that, so that at the end of the day, we can measure what the change was for the new positions we created. But a difficult budget to balance, and we came a long way to get it balanced, and happy to be there.
Last question on this. Compare, this budget where we're at going to 2024, say, to 5 years ago. What has been, what's better, what maybe an approach-wise, the city's doing this differently?
Yeah, I think what I have consistently seen is each year it gets a little bit more difficult, and it's simply a function of the revenues are not growing at the same pace as expenses. We have 5 bargaining units. We have incorporated COLAs for most of those bargaining units in the last few years. Those increases in cost of living increases ultimately were far above what we receive in the increases that we've seen in property tax and sales tax and some of those other revenue sources I mentioned. So what this looks like further out is it just becomes more and more difficult to balance, and we have to continue to be creative. And I think another really important factor is, let's not kick the can down the road and wait to do some of these projects. Let's make sure we're tackling as much as we can in a 1-year period, so that the cost of a project does not get worse, or the condition of a roadway doesn't worsen as time goes on.
All right, I'm going to take a break. We'll come back. We're going to touch on some other things that are happening with the city government. When we come back, City Manager Nathan West, my guest. Stick around.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
This is Jonathan Pasternak, Artistic Director of the Port Angeles Symphony. Join me and 65 of our community's finest musicians for the Symphony's annual holiday concert, Saturday, December 9th at the Port Angeles Performing Arts Center. Come experience the thrill of live orchestral music while enjoying festive and seasonal selections, plus the return of our Christmas Carol sing-along. Our special guest artist will be guitar virtuoso Colin Davin, performing Joaquin Rodrigo's Fantasia para un Gentilhombre. Our holiday concert on Saturday, December 9th is the Port Angeles Symphony's most popular concert of the year, so don't miss out. Get your tickets today, online at portangelessymphony.org, by phone at 457-5579, or in person at Port Book and News in downtown Port Angeles. See you at the Symphony.
Saving on your home improvement projects is almost as important as the service you should receive. With Angelus Millwork, Angelus Rentals, and Hartnagel Building Supply, you can always depend on superior customer service. But did you know that your favorite employee-owned stores have monthly product specials, coupons, and sales? Monthly specials on products that you need now are handpicked so you can save up to 30% when you need it the most. When headed to your mailbox, look for the Valpak envelope with special coupons from all our stores. Angelus Rentals, the only full-service tool rental company in Port Angeles, features a different tool each month that is 25% off. In closing, visit angelusmillwork.com for the latest sale information. We have annual sales on power tools, paint and stain, decking, wood pellets, and more. What we're trying to drive home is there's always a promotion going on, so come see us often or find out more online at angelusmillwork.com. Angelus Millwork and Hartnagel Building Supply. Building homes, building community since 1906.
Hey, Clallam County, PA Panto is back. This year we're catching up with Ariel. She's middle-aged and might need the number of a good lawyer. Come join us in the undersea kingdom of Pisht. You'll romp with mermaids and the squid and some sea monkeys. Triton is into self-care. Ogai is plotting a hostile takeover. And Ethel just wants it all to make sense. PA Panto returns. Go to jffa.org for tickets and information.
All right, my guest is Nathan West. We got him for a few more minutes here. We're going to touch on a couple of other things related to some stuff that's been happening in the news with the city. You heard last week about City Pier. After an inspection there, the tower, the viewing tower there, has been shut down, if you will, until we can kind of figure out what needs to happen there structurally. So with that said, Nathan, what's the message about the tower right now? I mean, people probably are wondering how unsafe is it and what's next for it?
Yeah, thank you, Todd. No, first I just want to thank everyone for their patience with City Pier Tower. And I've got a few things to talk about at City Pier, one of them being the tower. And ultimately on November 21st, we got information back from a structural engineer who had been doing a routine inspection on the tower itself and found there to be substantial structural deficiencies that could result in the tower failing in a situation of high winds or a situation of an overloading where you had a large number of people gathering on the top and they started playing on it or something like that. So ultimately, we shut down the tower as well as a portion of City Pier within the proximity of, should it fall over, it's not going to be impacting any area that isn't barricaded off at this point. An unfortunate situation, but we have ultimately declared an emergency on it. That emergency was ratified by City Council last night, and we are working diligently to get the repairs made and to get it figured out. First step is, while we got preliminary information from those structural engineers, we haven't yet received that engineer's report to know all the details, nor the exact cost estimate of what it might take to get those repairs done. We're expecting that within the next couple weeks and looking forward to getting those documents so that ultimately we can move forward on getting a timely fix, knowing that there's an immense amount of events that we're expecting in the new year, and we've got to have things up and running and ready to go for those events.
You haven't seen the final report yet, but is there confidence that this is a repairable type of a situation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So just be patient. You just have to know what to do with that as well. It's somewhat unfortunate that this came about because there's been an immense amount of improvement that happened in this past year at City Pier with all of the new railings and everything else.
That's right. We were able to complete the railing project this year. It's great to have all the new railings out there. And ultimately, I think one bright side to this is it will give us time and ability to give more attention to the tower itself. So the tower is one of the areas where we weren't able to do new railings, and I think it'll give us the ability to at least put a fresh coat of paint on the railings for the tower and things like that. But great to see the new railings out there. That's a project that's been in the works for a number of years, and good to see the progress. Another element out there on City Pier that's a big deal is we've long had a sidewalk closure that ultimately resulted from the sidewalk being pushed up by a number of tree roots, and as well as a challenge to stormwater in that particular location, or the stormwater infrastructure. And we've been on hold for about 2 years due to permitting agencies reviewing permits and waiting for them to issue determinations. And ultimately, we finally got a determination back. And on November 21st, we were able to take a bid to council to be awarded for Dorland Construction to ultimately do that sidewalk repair work. And so that's a big deal. It'll also incorporate pedestrian ramps within the City Pier parking lot and ADA compliant improvements. So really happy to see that project finally moving forward on City Pier as well.
All right, before we run out of time, because I know you got to run out of here as well, you got some seasonal things happening. You mentioned we're getting ready into the new year, but you wanted to touch on a few things that the city is directly involved with. One has to do with ice skating. I know that, right?
That's right. So we're really excited, Todd, to be doing the City of Port Angeles takeover of the Winter Ice Village tomorrow night from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. We'd love to see all the community members out there, and we're happy to say that we've got a lot of city staff out there volunteering in the different roles that you have in the Ice Village, and just so grateful for the Chamber of Commerce for continuing to put this event on. It really is a great thing to be able to have an ice skating rink in our downtown. The vibrancy that brings to our community is an amazing thing.
And some fundraising.
Fundraising wise, we have also Operation Candy Cane. That's actually run by the Firefighters Local 656, and as well as a number of volunteers, and the proceeds go to the Port Angeles Food Bank of that. We've got a list of all the different streets and the dates upon which Operation Candy Cane will be performing, where they basically have the fire truck coming through and will be accepting donations. And then also, that runs from December 9th through the 14th. And then also on December 9th, this coming Saturday, we have Shop with a Hero. That formerly was known as Shop with a Cop, and that's an opportunity for young kids to go shopping with a police officer. And so our police team will be participating in that. And that takes place from 11 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Walmart in Port Angeles.
Yeah, don't be alarmed when you see lots of emergency vehicles out there with their lights on. That's
right.
Part of the game. That's what it's supposed to look like out there. There's not an emergency happening, just a big, really neat event that's happening as well. One last note, holidays are here. That means the city's got strange hours like most of us. I know you wanted to make sure folks know when you're open and what's open when.
Exactly. So right now we have the regional transfer station to be closed on Christmas Day as well as New Year's Day. And then in addition to that, regular garbage pickup and recycling collection that normally would occur on the days where you have Christmas and New Year's Day. During that week, solid waste collections will be done one day later.
So for the rest of the week, so folks who have a normal Tuesday.
So where you have a normal Tuesday, your garbage would then be collected on a Wednesday.
Got it. All right. That's for the week of Christmas and then the week after the New Year.
Correct.
All right. All right. I think we made through most of what we were going to do.
Yeah.
So, Nathan, it's great to have you in. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas. And we'll chat with you, I'm sure, again before then, but we'll see you on the air after the New Year.
Sounds great, Todd. Thank you so much.
You got it. We're going to take a break, and we're going to talk about the Queens cartoonists in our next segment right after this.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP. Red Carpet Car Wash in Carlsberg is always adding to the list of things they provide to keep your vehicle looking brand new. The full detail shop is just one more service to check off that list. Not only will your interior and exterior shine, your engine will sparkle too. Red Carpet is also getting some winter upgrades, including new equipment in the manual bay and new vacuums. Call Kyle today and let him get you scheduled for your red carpet treatment Tuesday through Saturday. 360-461-0826.
Everwarm Hearth and Home has installed new stoves and fireplaces all over the peninsula. Wish you had the warmth of a fire? Well, don't wait. Everwarm is offering 48-month financing OAC or up to $1,000 off. And see if you qualify for an additional $2,000 tax credit. A new wood, pellet, gas, or electric stove or fireplace, not only good for your warmth this winter, but great for your budget. Everwarm Hearth and Home, east of Port Angeles on 101. Medicare open enrollment is here October 15th through December 7th, and if you're like most people on Medicare, you have questions. The statewide health insurance benefits advisors, known as SHEBA, can help inform you of your Medicare rights and options and see if you qualify for help with cost. SHEBA is a free, unbiased service provided by the Washington State Office of Insurance Commissioner. Get help today. Call SHEBA 1-800-562-6900 or visit insurance.wa.gov.
Updating the blinds in your house shouldn't be a hassle, but all too often when ordering from box stores, there's a lot of guessing. about measurements and what may look decent in the house. Avoid that feeling by purchasing your new blinds with McCrory. Let the experts assist in the style and functionality you need. Measure perfectly right now, installed for free. Plus, through December 18th, all blinds are 25% off. Shop the Blind Store by McCrory in Squim.
Sail away to Victoria, BC on the Coho to see the magic of Christmas at the Butchart Gardens. Stroll through the 12 days of Christmas displays with nearly 1 million twinkling lights from December 1st through the 31st. Overnight packages from $169 USD per person, based on double occupancy. Packages include ferry fare, a hotel stay in Victoria, and admission and shuttle to the Butchart Gardens. What a great gift for a loved one or yourself. Learn more at cohoferry.com.
On the Washington State News Network, I'm Rob Francis. A man is dead. 2 people are injured in a shooting that prompted a standoff with Pierce County Sheriff's deputies. Detectives say a man started shooting at police from inside a home where a man and a woman were already shot. The 2 were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Detectives say the suspected gunman was found inside the home with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The search for a man accused of shooting and killing his brother-in-law in Kennewick is over. 44-year-old Adam Cly was spotted in a ravine. Several shots were fired from Cly's gun, but they missed their targets. Police Commander Aaron Clem.
He has died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Obviously, we will have to wait for autopsy.
Commander Clem says the motive behind Monday's shooting of Travis Kitchen on South Jean Street is still under investigation. Clem says Kitchen had confronted Cly in the roadway before he was murdered. The skeletal remains of a man found early last month have been identified. J. R. Spadoni, who may have been from Gig Harbor, was discovered November 8th in a wooded area near a makeshift tent in Olympia. Cause of death is unknown, so his remains will be sent to King County's medical examiner for review by a state anthropologist. For more on these stories and a number of others, download the WSNN mobile app free through the Google Play and the Apple stores. You can also visit our website, WashingtonStateNews.net.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast. Slight chance for scattered rain showers this afternoon, otherwise cloudy. Daytime highs approaching 49, winds out of the west, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Scattered rain showers again tonight, lows level off around 39, overcast skies. Cloudy skies expected tomorrow. Scattered rain showers likely, daytime highs approaching 46. I'm weatherology meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 50 degrees.
Hey, welcome back to the program. The Queen's Cartoonists Holiday Hurrah. You will love it. Keenly aware of all things holiday-oriented and completely ridiculous, the music ensemble, the Queen's Cartoonists, set out to find the best of the best and the best of the worst holiday-related cartoons, films, and jazz, and thrown it all together into one big show. Actually, 2 big shows. It'll be coming to the Field Arts and Events Hall here in Port Angeles this weekend. And it's my pleasure in this segment to talk with Joel Sweet Sauce McKinley from Queen's Cartoonists on the phone. Joel, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So I'm going to let you explain to our listeners Queen's Cartoonists. Tell us about your group. What kind of a show do you guys throw together each time? And this one is a uniquely holiday-oriented one, so I suppose this might be different than one we'd see elsewhere.
Right. We are a group of jazz musicians from New York City, but we play all our music synchronized to animated films. So cartoons, digital animation, all kinds of fun and interesting pieces of animation, really. So we tour with a number of different programs, but this time of year we do a holiday show that has comedy and old, animated cartoons from the 50s and 60s and all the songs you expect, and it's just a very fun experience.
So tell us how you put this show together. This is really a unique approach. And maybe I should ask you how you guys came up with the idea to play to cartoons, essentially.
Right. I had this idea a long time ago of trying to find the kind of cross-section between the golden age of animation and the golden age of jazz. And that's kind of what I was looking for, and realized that some of those composers influenced the films, and some of those films had jazz scores, and I just started digging in and seeing what might be interesting to present to the public.
With that said, I know you kind of do some interpretation of things, so although you're going to play music that we're pretty familiar with if we know some of these cartoons, but that's not the exact song, correct? You guys take a few liberties.
Yes, I mean, we're trying to keep it as kind of weird as possible while still enjoyable to a holiday concert goer.
That was a better way to put it than I was. I was just trying to be gentle in how I was going to tell folks about it. Okay, so people show up at this shows, the two shows you're doing here in Port Angeles. What are they going to see? What give us a description of kind of what the stage looks like, and what you're going to throw out up there on the screens, and also for folks to hear.
Yeah, so you're going to hear a lot of holiday classics with a vocalist who's going to sing. The band swings hard. They're great jazz musicians from New York. A whole bunch of old films. Sorry, I have a train coming in behind me here. A whole bunch of old films. It's actually a late. I'm getting on it. It's late and not good timing. A bunch of old films that you've probably seen before when you were a kid, and then some jokes and comedy and stuff to tie it all together.
So, how do you pick the cartoons? What makes you, do you gravitate to a certain style or not?
Well, the first thing is if they're available to show. So if they're public domain, or if I can find some legal way to access the footage, that's the most important thing. And then after that, I just kind of, think about stuff and just think what would be appropriate, or what would be good.
That has to be very difficult. You just pointed out you can't just go out and put a Looney Tunes show on unless you want to spend a whole lot of money in licensing, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But some of that stuff's public domain. There's a lot of stuff out there that is available. So I work hard and get advice from people and all that kind of stuff, and it's super fun.
In the show that you're doing here, are you going to take us through kind of down memory lane, so to speak? How do you guys set this all up? Other than it's holiday themed, is there any sort of a thread that runs through it beyond that?
Well, I would say that it is definitely, it has like a 1950s, 60s kind of mid-century sort of tribute to that part of American history and culture. We set the stage. We kind of dressed up. The vocalist is wonderful, and she sings all this great classic stuff. It's a really nice, celebration of the season.
Okay, describe for me your band. Who's playing? You got a vocalist, but what are you playing, and who's joining you on the stage?
Sure. So I'm a pianist, and I do all the arrangements, compositions, and write the jokes for better or for worse. And then we have a bass player and a drummer, and then I have 3 horn players, and they play all different kinds of instruments. So we bring as many instruments as we possibly can to put on stage.
Is it difficult to do this, though? Play to these cartoons and make it fit?
Well, yeah. I mean, we do a lot of prep beforehand.
Yeah.
We have a click track that a couple band members have in their ears, and that takes a long time to prepare and get ready. And so each piece is pretty well thought out ahead of time. But hopefully, when you see it live, it looks effortless. I hope it looks effortless. That's the goal, but it certainly takes a lot of effort behind the scenes.
I'm a musician myself, and some of the greatest music is in cartoons, whether it's classical, jazz, or anything like that. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, I can see why you would gravitate to doing a cartoon-themed show.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all that classical music was used in the Looney Tunes films and Tom and Jerry and all that stuff, and it really exposed a lot of people to that music, and you get people every show that come up and say that's how they learned about Wagner or Rossini or someone, and so we try to highlight a bunch of that stuff.
So I have to ask you, as someone, they say, hey, Joel, what are you doing these days? Are people surprised when you say, well, see, what I do is I play the cartoons?
Yeah, depending on my mood, I can either say I'm a concert pianist or I can say I'm doing some kind of wacky circus show. It just depends on how I feel.
You're a vaudevillian or you're a concert pianist. I like that. That's pretty good. What's your favorite part about doing these programs?
Well, I love that we're able to reach multiple generations with the same show.
Yep.
And by that, I don't mean that it's a family show, quote unquote, because it's not written for children, but people bring their kids and the kids love it because it's movies and it's silly. So on some level, it's a very serious presentation. The music is very hard to play. because it's doing a lot of typical classical and jazz music. But if we can reach someone who's 80 and then they bring their grandkids and they all have a good time equally, I feel really good about that.
I have to ask you, though, because you're playing jazz mostly. There's a lot of give and take in jazz. There's a lot of improvisation, things like that normally that happens. When you're kind of in a strict format where you're trying to, marry this to what's happening on a screen, that's got to be a little different for a typical jazz musician.
Yeah, I won't lie to you. There is less improvisation than normal in this show.
But somehow you managed that, because I've seen some clips of it. You somehow managed to pull it off in some ways, and I guess that's just superior musicianship.
Yeah, everyone gets their moments. Everyone gets their moments to stretch and play like they normally would. But that's okay. I think I'm not sure a lot of people want to hear improvisation for 2 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it's nice to have things that are very structured, and then you kind of let loose and you come back and kind of flex the muscle like that.
So, Joel, take us through how you put the show together, right from where you pick the cartoon and how you build the music and all of that, just so we have a kind of a feel for a little bit of what you're bringing here to Port Angeles.
Sure. Well, when it's an old film, I take a lot of time to think of something that I think would be engaging to a contemporary audience, something that's interesting, fun to watch, and I listen to the music and see, should we present the music as it is originally, or should we replace it with something else? In this case, we're replacing the music with holiday music, right? So then after that, I just keep lists of stuff, and I start transcribing any music from the original films that we're going to use, because there's no written out music for any of this stuff. So you have to do it by ear. And then, I just kind of plug away and work at it, and eventually bring it into rehearsal, have the guys in the band play it and the singer sing it, and see what they think and take their advice, and just keep doing that until we have a show.
When you first started doing Queen's Cartoonists, and you started maybe shopping this around to bookers and things like that, what was the original reaction? And I guess that this kind of a leap to go with this kind of a show out and say, hey, what do you guys think of this?
Yeah, it was a bit of a process to get people convinced that they should invest in us. We have great management, and they're very supportive, and we play all over the world. So
that's great.
We're happy.
You mentioned you're on a train. Where are you at right now on your way out here? What's been the last step for you?
Yeah, we had a couple shows in the Los Angeles area, so just tidying up that stuff and going to see a relative for a couple of days, and then I'll fly up on Friday.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you up here as well. I have to ask you, is there one cartoon or one segment of this show that's Joel Sweet Sauce McKinley's favorite?
Well, I'll tell you, we feature an old movie called Santa Claus Conquered the Martians a few times in the film, and I really love that one. It's both holiday cheer and very strange, and I love showing it to people.
And I think that's key to everything you do, is it's a little bit weird, and that's the way you like it, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Safe travels, Joel. We'll see you up here, and we'll hope to get some more tickets sold for you guys and get a full house a couple of times for you at the Field Arts and Events Hall.
Amazing. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Joel. Safe travels. All right. That is Joel Sweet Sauce McKinley there. He is with the Queen's Cartoonists, and they are here for a couple of shows this Saturday at Field Arts and Events Hall. You can go over to the website and still get tickets. That's fieldhallevents.org, fieldhallevents.org. Tickets range in price, and there's still plenty of them available in all places in the theater as well, for both the Saturday night as well as the matinee too. Now, that said, I am in the middle of a giveaway. For the next 10 minutes or so, we're asking people to text to win a pair of passes to see the Saturday night Queen's Cartoonist Holiday Hurrah. That's a 7 p.m. concert. Doors open at 6:30 Saturday night at Field Arts and Events Hall. To get into the drawing, all you have to do is text right now the word WIN. Text the word WIN to 360-457-1450. That's 360-457-1450. That's our McCrory Carpet One Studio text main line. Text me the word WIN, and in about 10 minutes or so, we're going to be drawing, and I've got 6 pairs of passes that we'll give away, 6 winners for Saturday night showing of the Queen's Cartoonists Holiday Hurrah. And in the meantime, head on over to Field Arts and Events Hall's website and check out the full rundown. There's also some spots where you can watch a little bit as well. That's at fieldhallevents.org. And boy, they have a whole lineup of some great shows coming over the next few weeks through the holiday season there at Field Arts and Events Hall. We'll be talking more about those as we go through the next few days here on the show as well. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Red Carpet Car Wash in Carlsberg is always adding to the list of things they provide to keep your vehicle looking brand new. The full detail shop is just one more service to check off that list. Not only will your interior and exterior shine, your engine will sparkle too. Red Carpet is also getting some winter upgrades, including new equipment in the manual bay and new vacuums. Call Kyle today and let him get you scheduled for your red carpet treatment Tuesday through Saturday. 360-461-0826.
In Squim, it's good to know you have a neighborhood auto parts store ready to help. A1 Auto and Marine has been locally owned for, well, a really long time, taking care of your car and marine needs since before even the Squim bypass. Whether it's a headlight, wiper blade, battery, or something a bit more complicated, the specialist at A1 has the right part to keep you on the road. A1 Auto Parts and Marine, right across from Sunshine Cafe, downtown Squim.
Thank you very much. We're the Queen's Cartoonists. Are you guys ready to hear some music from cartoons?
The holidays are here at Field Arts and Events Hall, and we're so excited to welcome you and your loved ones to celebrate with us. Get tickets now for the hilarious Queen's Cartoonists and watch your favorite Golden Age cartoons take on new life synced to live music and comedy. 'Tis the season for making memories. Visit www.fieldhallevents.org today.
Your community-minded friends at First Fed bring you the Community Corner, highlighting good things happening right here in our area.
This Friday and Saturday, the Squim Guild invites you to come sip a hot drink, enjoy freshly baked scones, and shop all the handcrafted Christmas items and specialty gifts during their annual Christmas Cottage Holiday Bazaar. The Squim Guild of Seattle Children's Hospital helps over 1,100 local children every year, and this event is a big fundraiser for them. Don't miss the Christmas Holiday Bazaar Friday and Saturday at 81 Timothy Lane in Squim. Also this weekend, the Peninsula Friends of Animals has their holiday market at the Vern Burton Community Center, Port Angeles, where you can bring your pets for a festive holiday photo and shop all the handcrafted items during the holiday market, 10 to 3 p.m. this Saturday at the Vern Burton.
Community Corner, presented by First Fed.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Traveling, volunteering, spending time with family. What's your retirement look like? With income planning from Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor can help you grow and protect your wealth. They'll look at your full financial picture and help you create a flexible strategy that considers things like market conditions and healthcare expenses, so you can stop worrying about the future and enjoy whatever comes next. Visit fidelity.com/income planning. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE SIPC.
Like any good agent, we're here for the open house, for the closing, for handing over keys. But because we're realtors, we're here for so much more. Agents who are realtors volunteer at nearly 3 times the national average. We're working to broaden access to credit, increase affordable housing supply, and ensure fair housing for all. Realtors are bound by a code of ethics. We're here for it all. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Honey, come here, quick!
What is it?
Shh, check it out. The prices on all these highly rated tequilas are amazing. Total Wine must have made a mistake.
Nope, they always have the best deals in town. Remember that amazing reposado your sister brought over last week? See, it's right here.
Whoa, that's a low price. I mean, whoa, that's a low price.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, B21.
All right, thanks for joining us on the show this afternoon. And again, just a couple of minutes left in our text to win for a couple of passes to Saturday night show at Field Arts and Events Hall of the Queen's Cartoonists. Just text right now the word WIN to 360-457-1450. That's the McCrory Carpet One Studio text main line. I'll be drawing from those six pairs of passes I'll give away here in the next few minutes. If you text now, WIN to 360-457-1450.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
This is Jonathan Pasternak, Artistic Director of the Port Angeles Symphony. Join me and 65 of our community's finest musicians for the Symphony's annual holiday concert, Saturday, December 9th at the Port Angeles Performing Arts Center. Come experience the thrill of live orchestral music while enjoying festive and seasonal selections, plus the return of our Christmas Carol sing-along. Our special guest artist will be guitar virtuoso Colin Davin, performing Joaquin Rodrigo's Fantasía para un Gentilhombre. Our holiday concert on Saturday, December 9th is the Port Angeles Symphony's most popular concert of the year, so don't miss out. Get your tickets today, online at portangelessymphony.org, by phone at 457-5579, or in person at Port Book and News in downtown Port Angeles. See you at the Symphony.
This is Newsradio KONP.
Kick off this festive season with the classic holiday Murder in Ken Ludwig's A Game's Afoot, or Homes for the Holidays. It's Christmas Eve, 1936. William Gillette, an actor famous for his portrayal of Sherlock Holmes, has invited his fellow cast members to his Connecticut castle for a weekend of revelry.
Why would he build a castle on the Connecticut River?
Why does Gillette do anything? The man is insane.
But when one of the guests is stabbed to death, the festivities in this isolated house of tricks and mirrors quickly turns dangerous. Then it's up to Gillette himself as he assumes the persona of his beloved Holmes to track down the killer before the next victim appears. This glittering whodunit has murder, infidelity, wit, and surprises. There's something for everyone. Live at Olympic Theater Arts, running December 1st through 17th.
For tickets, go to olympictheaterarts.org.
Sail away to Victoria, BC on the Coho to see the magic of Christmas at the Butchart Gardens. Stroll through the 12 days of Christmas displays with nearly 1 million twinkling lights from December 1st through the 31st. Overnight packages from $169 USD per person, based on double occupancy. Packages include ferry fare, a hotel stay in Victoria, and admission and shuttle to the Butchart Gardens. What a great gift for a loved one or yourself. Learn more at cohoferry.com.
Guess who's coming to town? It's that time again. Santa is here, and he's at Swain's General Store for the traditional Photos with Santa. Friday, December 8th from 4 until 7, Saturday, December 9th from noon till 5, and Sunday, December 10th from 2 till 5. Santa has posed for photos with your children over the years and now with your grandchildren, and he can't wait to see all of their smiling faces. Don't miss Swain's annual Photos with Santa. What kicks off the holiday season more than this beloved tradition?
Rely on us for complete news coverage. We're Newsradio KONP, Port Angeles Squim, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay Davis, Anchor Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. The gunman who